Hi guys, it's us again.
Hello.
But
Oh wait,
we're
am I
actually
looking at the screen? I am
Yeah,
forgetting I'm on camera.
you're
So basically
looking. We've got you.
we are having like a little trial run to see if we can be on camera and have the sounds.
The new
'Cause
thing for us, if you've watched us on Instagram or you've listened to our podcast, we're
we
kind
talk
of
about
merging the two
accessibility.
together.
We want to be
Yes,
more accessible.
we
So
do.
we're trying to merge both of them, which is strange because we've done IG lives and we've done video work and we've done podcasts. We've actually not done both, have we?
Yeah, we're kind of like merging the two. So we're gonna see how it goes. And it's really weird because we're so used to like either not being on camera or like when we are on camera, we're like at the other side of the room somewhere. So
Yeah, I
it's
think
weird.
the other thing as well is like having our face full on in the shot. It's really bizarre.
It's very
It's
daunting.
very strange. Like if anybody is like watching this version rather than like listening to it, I'm literally like look like I'm in a call centre. It's like hello.
Which is funny because I do work in a call centre, but Sophie
Yeah,
looks like she
that's
does.
the irony. Like basically, I don't have access to my microphone. We kind of brought it over to uni.
Oh,
And
left it there.
I kind of left it there and forgot about it. And it's like I don't want to make a whole journey just for a microphone
Just to
because
get it.
I'd be spending more money in the traveling than if I bought like just a cheap
Just a
sort of
headset.
gamer set. Yeah, so this is
Just
why
you the
I've got
call
this whole
centre lady now.
this is why I've got a whole get up going on. It's like the call centre.
Whereas
So it's
I have my mic. Also Ben.
Hello.
So yeah, we've got two different setups, but it's still effective.
yeah, so
That's good.
we still think this is gonna work.
Yeah. Also, I'm really sorry. I keep getting really itchy nose all the time, so just ignore me. I'm not used to being on
It's
camera.
hay fever season. What
It
to
is.
expect?
It's
So
not great.
what we're going to talk about is prison art and outside art, which I think why are we talking about this? So okay, our work's been referred to a lot as like prison, and we kind of looked at each other and were like, what? To be fair, one of our influences was Orange is the New Black because at the time we were both watching programs like this and we watched sort of crime documentaries and things like that. So we can kind of now see probably why they mention it because maybe we did kind
A little
of
bit influenced.
give off that vibe in our work. We don't know.
And as well, we actually were introduced to the outsider art by one of our lecturers, weren't we? She actually recommended it to us, saying that she thinks it's relevant.
We haven't heard about it before, which is strange because like we've learned so much in art, and the one thing I don't think I've ever heard about before until now was outsider art. And would you like to explain, Kirst, what outsider art?
So outsider art is essentially people who kind of instinctively make work. So it's not about the final piece or anything like that. It's just they make work just because they want to, and it might not be like the conventionally good art. No, it sounds a bit offensive, but that's basically what it is. Which she was like, oh, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's like, no, we 100% agree with that. That is what our work is like. So yeah.
Yeah, when we create our work, we always feel like we have a need to create. We just need. Honestly, like we always used to joke about it as a family because I'd get twitchy. I'd have a need to create. It's like I had to draw something. I had always have a sketchbook in my bag wherever we went. Like a draw at the zoo, draw park, whatever. Just like always needed to have that like bit of drawing going on.
Yeah.
And like when me and you, Kirsty, when we go on like any art trips for uni, we'd always like be doing some drawing.
Yes.
We bring out our sketchbook all the time. It's like, so sometimes when we only had like a few minutes that we were meant to be there and we had to draw, I was like, oh no, and
quickly sketch it. Like, I wanted more time. So yeah, we definitely relate to that. We just love.
Yes. Plus, it's good when when you have those sort of time when you're waiting between stuff. It's good when you've got like a sketchbook because then you can like just draw something whilst you're waiting. Like when you're in a coffee shop or something and you're just waiting maybe before you're going into work or something. And you've got that like bit of time, you don't know what to do with it. Then you think, all right, that's when I can do some drawing.
Yeah, it is really good. It's good just to carry a sketchbook and whenever you're inspired, just do it.
Yeah. And generally we do always feel a little better when we've created stuff. So like, sometimes we have thought about this, said about this as well. And sometimes when we have those days when we've not actually created something, we both just get like really frustrated, don't we? Because we think, I wanted to create something, because I just really wanted to make or paint.
That is true.
Like,
yeah. Like when we've been in like a lecture or something, or we've been doing like a lot of written work, we always try to find that time to do some work. We gotta do it. We gotta paint, we gotta draw, we gotta do something, because it just is a letdown if not. We've got to.
I think as well is because I think before I was used to be too precious about what I created, and anything that I didn't see was very good or sort of bad art, I'd probably say.
Yeah.
I'd throw away or scrap or whatever. Like now it's like, you know,
less
just
precious.
create. Like don't pressure yourself on how it looks or whatever, because sometimes the whole process of making is like a lot more interesting than the final result.
Which is why a lot of our Instagram lives have been interesting to us.
Definitely. Like it's just made it a lot more fun. It's made it more about let's have fun, let's chuck this here. So we're like the incident with the yellow paint.
Let's pretend that never happened, please.
Let us forget about that.
I'm never gonna forget that.
But,
we might get a little bit carried away sometimes.
Or when I use my sock to paint, I would never have dreamed of doing that before.
Or when we put our hands in it and we just like use our hands on the walls, like children.
And it makes us think like, you know, it's not just about creating a pretty picture or making it look realistic. It's like art can be a lot more than that. But like one of the things I found most interesting about was like handkerchief art.
Yes, that's so interesting.
It's a big thing. It's more of a thing in American prisons than in UK prisons, because I've just seen a lot more research about it in American prisons.
Yeah,
There's a lot of handkerchief art that's going on in America, and the ones I looked at were from a prison in Texas, and it's so interesting because you've got some of them where they're like exchanging like handkerchief art. Or some of them where they've got visitors and they're passing through handkerchief art, so it's like a way of like not just like expressing, but like a way of messaging each other. And it's really interesting though, and sort of strange.
Even in those situations that people.
It's strange to put like a prison context and art together. It just doesn't.
It doesn't seem like something that would go together.
No, but it's like I think as well as because you have this idea of what you think, like people who are maybe in prison or some of the things that they are associated with, that they wouldn't necessarily be like doing something that's creative and what's considered to be like delicate, because some people do see art as a delicate thing, and it's like it's interesting because it makes you maybe even think differently about some of those prisoners as well, because you think, oh, maybe there might be a side of them that they haven't been able to unleash that might be quite good, as well as maybe some of the associated crimes that they've got with them, that maybe it's a lot more complicated than that. It's not just they're not just labeled as bad or anything due to the crimes that they have. It's also like about, you know, they can be creative and they can have some good sides from us. So.
Yeah, exactly. And like a lot of, well, I've seen in some like prisons, like you hear about these things where like someone will go in there and like have sort of art sessions with them, and I think that's quite a nice thing, because like we all know about like art therapy and such, like it really can benefit your mental health. And obviously prisoners, you know, they're people, you know, so like if that's what helps them, then that's really cool, and it gives them something else to do, like unleash their sort of creative side of it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it shows though how like important it is actually like unleash and share creativity. I have no idea before that this was even a thing with like handkerchief art.
It just seems really interesting.
It just seems crazy to me that you've got these level of creativity going on even in environments where you would expect there not to be a lot of creativity going on. Because if you think about like what is there to really inspire someone who's in prison?
Exactly, and that proves.
Was it a way of helping them like cope with the situation they find themselves in? So
exactly,
really interesting.
And as we talked about earlier with outsider artists, it's kind of like reflecting that a bit, in the sense of like, you know, they haven't got things that are inspiring them, but they're still finding the need to create, which I love. And that would be me if I was in prison. Easily me.
Yeah. And when we look at it in terms of our artwork, we kind of do notice that we feel like a lot of our work's more into going into the process and the why and the what rather than the final thing. It's like it's really important for us to think about
what goes into it,
what we're expressing, and less about the final result. I mean, if it turns out in the end it's not like the result we hope for,
not perfect, then
it's like that's
fine.
not the bit that we're so concerned with. It's all the work that's gone into it. It's like, did we express at points things that were like really interesting? Maybe we opened up a bit more and there were some personal things that we shared amongst it all, which
that's more important to us, isn't it?
Exactly, because I think one thing that I noticed with our work that we probably don't do that some artists do, which we do kind of like say some of the stuff that we do. We don't reveal everything. So you don't know a lot about us. You know a lot about us without knowing a lot about us, which makes no sense, but it's like you're kind of finding out a little bit. We're not telling you everything, we're telling you a little bit. It's because there's a part of us that kind of like holds back from saying everything. And it's like, we do wonder why we do this, but it's like it's just naturally, I don't think you always want to be sharing everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like it is interesting when we think about this. It's like, are we going to be more generous? Are we going to read it? It's like they're going to be nothing left to share.
It. Yeah, we're like we're
nothing left to share.
Step it back a bit. But I think that's what I like about our art, like that we do involve ourselves more, like our personalities in there, so you can get a lot more of who we are. I think that's
and
important
our clumsiness.
And our clumsiness. And the human errors that always occur, technology errors, like we're keeping it real.
Dropping the camera.
Yeah.
People have heard of mic drops, but they haven't heard of camera drop.
Yeah. That is a new one, isn't it? That was good. Not for the camera, but for our entertainment. And when the wall fell down, that was another one.
Oh my god.
Things never work out very
thing is that what makes it really bad though is that, you know, even if we, you know, intended it for it to go to plan or we changed our mind, things you'll know whether we wanted it to go to plan or not, because our facial expressions actually says it all. Like when that all fell down, I think when we showed people they saw my face and then,
you was like
they knew that wasn't going to plan, because that was not
that was we did not mean to do that. Like it was just the timing of it to be on camera. Just
I was like very authentic.
Couldn't plan that. You just couldn't plan that.
Would not plan it. I could not. I don't even know how I managed to make that facial expression. That is like how unplanned that was. Like
really was. Ooh, my camera's moving. My camera's going. Sorry about that. I think it just had a mind of its own. Then it was like, woo.
Yeah. So if anybody is interested, just search up
Instagram
prison art and outsider art.
Oh yeah, and also our Instagram.
Some of the things you find, it is so interesting because they use like lots of different things.
They use like the bare minimum as well, don't they?
Yeah, and you use like found objects and things like that.
That's what we do.
It's like, and I think it's really important that we think about what we're using when we're creating stuff, because like, you know, art stuff is so expensive.
And you can make some really cool stuff with like just any old
I don't know why I just whispered that, but it's so expensive.
But yeah, you can we've made some really cool stuff with like any old objects. Like it doesn't have to be top notch.
It's very, because the thing is that I get that sometimes you're paying on quality, but at the same time, like,
you're not paying for your creativity, are you, Jenna?
I just feel like it
can't buy that.
It can be such a cop out to just buy the state of the art equipment.
State of the art.
When I think it's a lot more interesting when you're working on a minimum budget, a minimum amount of materials, and you're trying to be more creative with what you have, rather than looking at all these different like art materials that you'd be looking at. Like we are always like looking to try and use stuff we've got around us and try and, you know,
make the best of what we got.
Think of more affordable ways of doing things, because we think we shouldn't just be looking at ways that involve money, and it shouldn't be money or space.
Shouldn't be money driving it as well, you know?
Yeah, it should be a case of like, when you've got barely any equipment or space or anything, how can you think outside the box and be a bit more creative with that? Because we think we probably could pay more towards this or that. But so at the same time, it's like,
that's not
but
what it's
it wouldn't be as fun. It'd be
easy.
It'd be easy if you got the state art equipment to do all these things for you. When you've got to try and do it yourself, and you've got to try and do it on.
About it.
Yeah, it's like, it makes it a lot more interesting. And the thing is, I think we like that challenge.
We do. We love that.
Is that it's not that just a need to create, it's that need to like be challenged.
Problem solve.
You're trying to problem solve stuff, and it makes it a lot more entertaining as well. When like things are going wrong, like our walls, like it makes it a lot
love it.
funnier.
We embrace it.
Like, we do not want it to be really serious. Like, I think that's one thing that we feel like we need to bring the fun back into art.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where's the things that we learned from like Art Attack, you know?
Love that.
When, you know, we were drawing all these different like cartoons and that, and we were just having a lot of fun. Or I just feel like, in a way, when you go to like be an artist in like a more serious sense, it gets too serious. It's like,
it gets lost as well. What the
you're supposed to be enjoying this, but we're taking it too seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
do we need to take it a little bit less seriously?
Let's have fun with it. We do, and we love it.
Yeah. The amount of times though people come up to us at uni and they'll say to us, "Why are you laughing about this? It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, guys." It's like,
we are,
because we think, well, you know, we're doing what we love doing, so why would we take it too seriously?
Yeah, like, of course we do have an element of taking it seriously, because, you know, but no, most of the time, like, we're having fun, we're having a good time, and that's the most successful work.
As soon as it gets too serious, we just know we've done something not quite right.
Yeah,
like, when there's times when it's like been so serious, and then one of us has gone up to like, we said, why aren't we laughing? What's going on? Does not
if compute. We're not laughing,
we need
there's something wrong.
We need the laugher. It's just doesn't work without it.
Yeah.
And thing is, as well, is some things that we notice where we just sort of laugh at our old selves as well. Like, when we did some of our old videos to begin with, oh my god, how serious were we?
We were too serious.
Cringe. Like, okay, I do this thing when I'm like, what is it? When I'm serious, I do this where I'm very much straight up like this, and I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
And I always have to have my neck right up. It's like it's almost like I've got a phobia. I've got a double chin thing going on.
I've got one right now.
And it's like, you can't see in the shot, but I'd have like my arms like right next to me, and I would not move my arms, and I'd just be like talking like this. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you actually doing?
It's quite funny with looking back, but
stop taking yourself so seriously.
When we first started the video work, we thought that's how you had to be, but then we realized, you know what, let's be ourselves.
Whereas, you know, just be ourselves, be a bit more authentic. Like, the amount of times I move my hands right now, this is how I talk.
Yeah. But but we I'm
not gonna get sued for doing that, am I, for like trademark?
Hopefully not. But yeah, our most successful ones are the ones like where we have fun. Like, some people would take this far too seriously, and we're just not about that.
Yeah,
no,
we're more about, you know, if we have made it fun and we've had people join in and wanting to get involved at different points, if people are seeing us have that much fun and they want to get involved, we've done something right. We must be doing something right, because we want it to be a case of like, we know that art doesn't get as much engagement as it should do. And we do things.
There's a reason sometimes.
Like, when people are making jokes about art, we just join in, we laugh.
Yeah, like,
try and find out more.
If people are like, haha, you're not getting a career out of that, I'm like, yeah.
Whereas some people take it too seriously and think, you know, they're joking about art. Like, some of it is funny. Like, I don't consider a pile of bricks to be art, but you know, so would a lot of people. But it's like,
There you go.
yeah, it's like, yeah.
I mean, controversial, but you've got to put some effort into the art. That's all I'm saying. You know, because you can't be like, oh, anything's art, because then it's kind of insulting to people that put a lot of work into it, you know.
Plus, some art is just it's there's a debate about what is considered to be good art, right?
Not sponsored.
And that's one of the things they say. They don't, outsider art isn't considered as good art because it is considered as, I really don't like it when people use the word, is kitsch.
Oh, I hate that word too. Just
no, I don't like it that much. I'm doing a dirt face. But kitsch, right? I feel like kitsch is such a cop-out way of expression and explaining art, just because I feel like just by labeling it as kitsch, you're labeling it as a lesser art form just because you don't quite understand the art form.
Exactly.
That's just for me. I don't know. I just don't see how it's disregarded as a lower form of art, because the thing is, a lot of these outsider artists is that they don't have formal classical training. So in a weird way, even though our work is, we refer to our work as that, we have both got classical training, but we don't see how but we don't see how not having a degree
that doesn't make you an artist,
means that your art should be seen as lower or lesser than. We don't quite understand that. I mean, we have had these talks for ages, haven't we, where we think, wow, should we have to have a degree in order to be considered to be an artist? I mean, taken seriously.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, it's great if you do have a degree, but like that doesn't make you an artist, and not having one doesn't make you not an artist. Like it's really not about that. It's not about the education you get at all. So, I mean, I was an artist before I was an art student, you know, like you can't just put a label on it like that.
I just think maybe do we need to reconsider like the way we talk and the way we like categorize people, like when we're saying like someone's an amateur artist because they haven't got a BA or they haven't got any other kind of qualification, like do we need to really think about like, you know, how ridiculous that is?
Yeah.
Like exactly. That is so ridiculous to me. Like how are you an amateur artist?
Exactly.
Because you haven't got a qualification, like.
And I've seen some like 13-year-olds who are absolutely incredible, and you just think, you know,
some of these people on Instagram, they produce an amazing,
and they've never had any sort of like
amazing. Yeah, that doesn't get recognized, and
exactly.
That does like mind boggle me a lot. It really does. Like I'm so surprised that like a lot of these people do not get recognition. I think it should be based more off of talent than
absolutely
than your teachings.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, of course I want to be recognized, like, you know, I've got a degree and but that's not to say that it should only be people that's got a degree that should be like recognized.
Exactly. I think that's something I think we need to consider, is that the whole rebrand of art, rebrand it. So I have thought at times is, do we just rename art? Do we call it something else?
Yeah, so let's get rid of all this stigma behind it. Just call it something else.
Ooh, what can we call it instead of art?
Ooh.
Do you know, maybe we can name it like, you know, the unit of measurement of like for things, or you know, when you've got people naming things after they've invented something.
Yeah.
Trying to think what would be a good mashup of our names that's not going to sound dodgy as
the thirsty. Let's just call it Eye of the Glitch. Because we
The eye of
invented
the
it.
glitch. Yes, the eye of the glitch.
The Eye of the Glitch. That's what we're calling it now, guys. Okay.
Yeah. We might substitute instead of art. You might just say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I have to say about, outside art.
I think it is. I think we've milked
Thank
that
you
subject
for
dry.
listening, watching, however you're
Yes.
consuming this. It's through a toilet or whatever. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Hope you enjoyed. Bye.